What's up? Welcome back to Superhero Wednesday, the day of the week we talk about anything superhero, comic booky, thingy, your head explodes. Now this week we've got quite a cool episode. I'm going to talk about the MCU and give it an all-round awesome, all-round as I did a box. Because I know science with Dan. This week we're talking about the MCU as a whole and why I absolutely love it. It's kind of weird review type shenanigans thing. Just going to chat about why I love the MCU. Let me know why you like it and why you don't like it. Impossible, everybody loves it. But for real, before we get started, if you do enjoy this video, shenanigans, that would be amazing. Thank you. I'm sat in my mum's room talking about the MCU. It might be boring, I don't know. I'm enjoying it, but yeah, just please love and support. That'll be amazing. Wow. Yeah, before we get started, the MCU, Marvel, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, all these bad boys. A few years ago, these characters were sort of laughed at by the general public, by mainstream. It's being comic books for kids. It's just cartoons, and now they are the global dominant force of the big screen and soon to be the streaming service when the TV shows come out on Disney Plus, whenever that may actually be. They're a global phenomenon now. I absolutely adore the MCU. Yeah, at first there was parts that I picked apart, sort of like that never happened in comics, this doesn't happen. You got to remember they're their own unique stories, telling the stories of these characters but in their own different ways. And it all round, it's just so fucking amazing. They've took B-listers like Captain America, like Iron Man, who were big characters, big names, but they never were the A-listers of Marvel Comics, and they've turned them into these global, extremely recognizable characters and faces and names, and now they are definitely the A++++++ players of the entire Marvel franchise. Marvel Universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to anybody that hasn't watched it or hasn't even started yet, it's a combination of different characters telling their own unique stories and their own very creative, crazy, weird, wonderful, beautiful, magical, scientifical, sci-fi stories, and then eventually combining them together to tell even bigger, badder, wider, crazier stories. It's something. It's 100% unique, and it's something that will never be touched again by any other franchise in a way that the MCU have done it. MCU is just full of so much. You can take your favourite characters and your least favourite characters. You can build upon each of them, find out more things that you love about them, more things that make them more relatable to you, that you can go through their ups and downs together. From the first film, like from the first Iron Man to where we see him in Endgame, and go through that whole entire arc. Not to talk about arcs in Iron Man, bit of a weird pun there. And just see this character develop and blossom, and us as an audience just fall in love with these amazingly well-acted characters. MCU is just full of so much, with each installment adding one extra little layer to the overall grand picture, because it's load of mini stories within one big story, and every film that comes out just adds that little layer and brings in a new character, brings in a new villain, a new hero, a new plot twist, a new aspect of the universe. We've gone from gods and Asgards to space to us on Earth to crazy shenanigans that's happening in Earth. We've into the deepest parts of our minds with Doctor Strange. It's just an unlimited amount of potential and storytelling in such a creative, unique, beautiful world. I highly do recommend somebody, if you've to be honest, if you've never seen any of the MCU films, you're not going to see this video and think, oh, I'll have a watch of this. But if for whatever reason, if you haven't, I absolutely beg of you, please go and watch anything from the MCU. I don't care if you want to start at the beginning or not. You can start with Spider-Man, you can start with Thor. Fair enough, it might be a little bit out of place, but just get a little bit of a taste of what this wonderful, unique, beautiful world is like. Like I said, I've been reading comics for years, and I was a bit annoyed when the MCU stuff comes out, the Iron Mans and stuff. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I love Marvel, yet these people took the piss out of anything related to comic books a few years prior, but now I absolutely adore it, because instead of saying you hated that 2 minutes ago, now I can say, see, can you see why I love these characters? Fair enough, they're doing it in the form of movies, because everybody loves movies, not everybody loves comic books, but they're still see, because it's all the same thing. It's just these characters and stories, whether it be through page, be through animation, cinema, gaming, whatever. It's the love of these absolutely outstanding characters which people have finally been able to see. Just love the creative process. I have no idea what Kevin Feige or Jon Favreau, whoever's doing a certain film or directing or telling the whole grand scheme thing, I just want to know the creative process, because in my head, I assume they've got the next 10 years planned out, from the next Spider-Man all the way till we first see an X-Men or the Fantastic Four, whenever that happens, to the Blade film, to the next Guardians, to the next. I have no idea how they've mapped it all out, because fair enough, each film will have its own producers and directors and writers and stuff. They'll have sort of little indications of what they need to know to tie into a next up and coming character, or the next big villain, a Galactus, a Khan, an Annihilus, whoever they want to be. They'll have some sort of a little inkling, and the way they've got this big board and they've just tied it all together and mapped it out is just fucking outstanding. And I just want to be in the room or the rooms at the Marvel Studios and just have a look for a split sec, because I bet the creative process is not only mind-numbingly painful, but at the end of it, so beautiful. MCU is hours upon hours upon hours of absolute endless enjoyment. Yeah, you've got your films which aren't as good and as impactful and heavy and awesome, but on the whole grand scheme of things, you enjoy yourself the whole way. Like I said, seeing characters develop through their own films and develop even more during the big team films, the Avengers, basically the Guardians, Captain America, Civil War, that's a team, it's 2 team films. It's amazing. It's awesome. I love it. I can't get enough of it. Being, like I said, a comic book fan, not just Marvel though, DC. I love like Batman, Green Lantern, all of that. And I just wish the DCEU was a bit better and a bit more laid out and a bit more straightforward, instead of the mess we've got at the minute. The MCU is able to give, because it's taken a lot of risky characters like the Guardians, like someone like the Red Skull, like even Loki, and saying, no, we can do this with them, we can give them this story, we can give them this actor, and it's given B-listers and C-listers the chance to proper shine and fulfill what they can truly, their full potential in the form of live action storytelling. It's just something that's completely changed the way we look at cinema, how we do films. I mean, the midnight releases for the Marvel films is just absolutely awesome. To see people from all kinds of races and creeds and religions and backgrounds and areas and countries, cities, from everything, and all coming together and look at this one ball of absolute pleasurable joy. I'm making it sound more sexual than it needs to be. I'm saying, bringing all of these people together and saying, look at all this thing you love as a collective. It's changing storytelling. Because not often, I mean, obviously it has happened, but not often do we see our heroes fall, lose, die, and stuff like that. We've seen 2 of our main men, Tony Stark, Captain America, gone. We've seen half of our universe, half of our heroes, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Falcon, Winter Soldier, lose. We went to a cinema after 10 years of building and watched the good guys not just lose, but get absolutely annihilated, and we had to sit and stew on that, and it made people just feel so many different emotions and feel so much anxiety and pain and excitement and wonder, and making their own creative process and how stuff can be resolved. It's done so much for my mind, other people's minds. It's done so much for storytelling, filmmaking, on the grand scheme of things. It's just beautiful. Highly recommend. I just wanted to give a shout out why I love the MCU and what it means to me, and as a comic book fan, seeing these characters finally applauded and loved worldwide, instead of just in the nerdy pop culture comic book side of things, but everybody. I'm so happy. But yeah, that was just me rambling on about the MCU and how amazing it is and stuff. Kind of weird review, just thing, whatever. But visuals, that was that. If you did enjoy, please booski. Like I said, I'm an idiot, setting up a camera, having a few word chucks out, and then leaving it out. But visuals, thank you so much for watching. My booski being you, and keep on web slinging on. Tell us what you love about the MCU, your favourite film, your least favourite film, your favourite character, your favourite hero and villain, your favourite whatever. Keep being you and keep on web slinging on.